Hi, this is Rachel Israel with STEM News and Global World Report. We have breaking news that will have a huge impact on the global scene in the very near future. Let's take a look at what's going on around the world.
Thank you, Rachel, and we turn it over to our man on the street.
And today's topic is one that's shaking the world. On Thursday, November 23, 2024, Russia launched a new and experimental intermediate-range ballistic missile, or IRBM, at Dnipro, Ukraine. This wasn't just any missile, it was equipped with MIRVs, multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. Now that's a mouthful, but what it means is that this missile carried multiple warheads capable of hitting different targets. Scary stuff, right? So, what makes this missile so special? Well, IRBMs like this one are usually capable of carrying nuclear warheads, even though this particular launch didn't involve any nukes. But let's not get too comfortable. The fact that it can carry them is enough to raise some serious concerns. This launch comes at a very critical time. Just days before Russian President Vladimir Putin updated his country's nuclear doctrine, lowering the threshold for using nuclear weapons. Coincidence? I don't think so. It feels like a clear message to the world. Russia is not afraid to up the ante. Now let's talk about the response. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy had some strong words. He claimed that Putin is terrified, suggesting that this missile launch is an act of desperation. It's a bold statement, but considering the state of the conflict, it might not be too far off the mark. Internationally, the reaction has been one of alarm and caution. The United States, NATO, and the United Nations have all expressed serious concerns. The U.S. was notified just before the launch and had already briefed Ukraine and its allies to prepare them for this possibility. This level of preparedness shows just how tense the situation has become. So, what does this mean for the future? Well, it's hard to say for sure, but one thing is clear. This is a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The use of such advanced and potentially nuclear-capable technology means that the stakes are getting higher, and the world is watching closely. As we move forward, it's crucial to stay informed and aware of these developments. The situation is fluid, and what happens next could have far-reaching consequences not just for Ukraine and Russia, but for global security as a whole. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video informative, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be keeping an eye on this story and bringing you updates as they happen. Stay safe and stay informed. See you next time.
Welcome to our channel. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Most of all, enjoy the show. Putin's worst nightmare: Russia fires new missile at Ukraine. Russia has fired a new missile at Ukraine, sparking fears of an escalation in the conflict. The missile, reportedly a hypersonic weapon, has the potential to evade Ukraine's air defenses and strike its targets with devastating accuracy. This development is a major concern for Ukraine and its Western allies, as it could give Russia a significant military advantage in the region. The move is seen as a bold challenge to Ukraine's sovereignty and a direct threat to its national security. As tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue to escalate, the world watches with bated breath, wondering what's next in this dangerous game of military brinksmanship. Is this Putin's latest move to assert Russia's dominance over Ukraine, or is it a desperate attempt to distract from his own country's economic woes? One thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher, and the world is holding its breath as it waits to see how this crisis will unfold. Now, we have to think this through. How did all this start? You know, it didn't have to start, and but it is. It is what it is. And right now, essentially, you've cornered a wildcat, right? So when you corner a wildcat, it's going to fight for its life, and it's not going to be pretty. So again, like I say, people are overlooking what's going on. We could literally find ourselves any day under fireballs. You know what I'm saying? It's just insane. So what human being, and I mean this sincerely, what human being would do these things? And I'm not talking just about Mr. Putin. I'm talking about how we got in this situation, the people who pushed for this situation, knowing what the end result was going to be. What are these humans? I mean, really, think this through, because we are actually pushing towards World War III, right? And World War III ends badly for everyone, and yet we're still doing it. And you got to ask the question: why are we doing this? I mean, I could take a guess and a half as to the general reasons, what the reasons they would give, but we went through the Cold War and everybody understood quite succinctly that this is not what we want to do. And yet today, all of a sudden, this is what we want to do. Or maybe they know something about Vladimir Putin, that there's no way he's going to do this. He's bluffing. But as the outgoing administration hits the door, they're going to leave President Trump with a serious dilemma. And like I say, there is a point of no return. Even if the incoming guy does not want it, if it's already set in motion, he can't stop it. Once you it's like that, when the waves start coming crashing over the dunes, or actually crashing into the dunes, until there's that break point where a little bit ekes over, and then the entire ocean comes over that dune. I've actually seen that happen, and it's pretty impressive. Next thing you know, the streets are flooded, and there's nothing you can do now. It is what it is. So we're approaching that point, and I'm like, wow. Is it really that bad? If I can't have it, then nobody can have it. That's the general sentiment. But it makes me think about, biblical stuff where, who would want to see World War III? I mean, really, no human would want to see World War III. But if annihilating mankind off the face of the planet is your goal, yeah, there are forces at work that would want to see World War III, because maybe that's the goal, and maybe we've been sold out, And I'm going to try not to go too far down that path. I have another channel that delves into that sort of thing, but we'll keep it newsy here. But you have to step back and analyze the psychopathy involved in these decisions. Even taking a chance, even if you don't like this guy or that country, even taking the chance on nuclear war says a lot about yourself. And I can't go into detail, but there are people who are gung-ho about this. They can't wait. But I just remember a scripture in the Bible that says that the mighty men will be like women in travail when it finally hits the fan. Think that through. The mighty men will be like women in travail. They'll be screaming and crying, asking the rocks to cover them. There's no mighty men. There's no honor in this. When this thing pops off, there is no honor. There will be no medals given after this. It's just pure insanity. And yet we're going down that path. And it always boggles my mind that it's the poor that get sacrificed. And yet the poor are the ones doing the rah-rah, because why? You're the one that's going to go out there and get annihilated. The wealthy, they have bunkers. Think this through. What are you doing? Snap out of it. It's you and your children that are going to suffer. Well, there's not more I could say on this subject. Certain things have to happen. And when they talk about a great reset, well, yeah, there's man's great reset, but then there's the Creator's great reset. And he does say this thing ends in fire. No more floods. This one ends in fire. And when that happens, then the status quo is broken. You'll see no more of of this system that's in place, right? It will be annihilated. And then there'll be a free for all for the new world. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we just we'll hold our breaths a little bit here and see how this all pans out. But just remember, there's still time to stop this, stop the madness. You might think your leaders have your best interest. I don't know about that. Not if the world is on fire. So that being said, I'm going to turn this back over to Rachel Israel. Rachel, you got it. Take us home.
Well, that's the news for tonight. Thank you so much for continually supporting our content. If you did enjoy this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family. I'm sure they would find it interesting as well. We're very excited to continue this journey with you. We thank you all for bringing certain stories to our attention, and for continually keeping us updated with certain events around the world.